Book of John, chapter 1, verse 23. John the Baptist replied in the words of Isaiah the prophet, I am a voice of one calling in the wilderness. Make straight the way for the Lord. I have always considered ya boy Zach to be the John the Baptist of Comicsgate. His was the first voice I heard way back in 2017, 2018, when I first discovered his channel. And his was the voice that kind of crystallized things for me. You know, when I was... For me, I was a Marvel fan right up through the end of Jonathan Hickman's multiverse saga. And appropriately enough, that saga ended with the destruction of Earth or Universe 616 and whatever the Ultimate Universe's number was, I forget. But basically, both the Ultimate and the real Marvel Universe ended in the first issue of Jonathan Hickman's Secret War. And at the end of Secret War, Reed Richards and Franklin and the Molecule Man are creating new Earths, and one of them was the one that ongoing Marvel stories took place on, and I always viewed that as the all new, all different universe, completely distinct from 616. And I recognize as I'm reading these things that something's just off. Something's weird. You know, the Avengers, in the 2 or 3 years that Hickman had the books leading up to 2016, the Avengers, man, they were spot on. The both Avengers and New Avengers were exciting stories. They were all part of this huge multiverse saga arc. The dialogue was both crisp and profound. Like, the dialogue just sounded great in your ear, but it was also dialogue that made you think. And then all of a sudden, the Avengers is Tony Stark and Ms. Marvel and Miles Morales operating out of a garage. It's like the Detroit Avengers, you know, when it became all new, all different. I was like, everything just sort of seems anticlimactic or post-climactic and lame. But I wasn't able to put my finger on what was wrong, and then one night, before bed, I was listening to, back then it was Diversity in Comics, and I found myself nodding, you know, more and more. And then Zach's channel became a regular for me when I was driving. And then that led me, in part, there were a couple other things that led me, but that in part led me to Comicsgate. And so I started off 2016 still getting a fair amount of titles from corporate comics. And fast forward 7 years, I can't tell you the last time I bought a corporate comic. I completely made the transition to Comicsgate. So it feels a little weird today to be reviewing. I'm not going to say reviewing, because I don't consider these videos to be reviews. Because these videos, basically the way I see my channel is I read a Comicsgate book, and then I talk about the mental avenues it takes me down, and you know, the sort of thought journey that I go on after reading one. So they're not really reviews. They're not really telling you this is a good book or a bad book. I mean, I do try to tell you, hey, you should pick this up, but I don't consider these to be reviews. But I'm reviewing / talking about / discussing a Zach book today. I just read KUFFZ Origin. Like all of us, I've always enjoyed the Jawbreakers. Jawbreakers was I can go to my Indiegogo, whatever you call it, the list you can go to see everything you've backed. And the very first thing I ever backed was Jawbreakers. So reading this book is like coming back to an old friend. KUFFZ has always been a fun character. And this book was intriguing to me for a number of reasons. First, it's a collaboration between Richard and Michael Barron. So it's two very talented writers putting their heads together. The dialogue is very good, as I would expect from Mike Barron. And I've always called Zach, among all the other things that Zach is, man, Zach is a friggin' idea factory. Because when I saw that it's a one-shot, KUFFZ book, you know it's going to be fun, it's going to be action-packed, but you don't know that there's going to be a real mind-bender of an idea, and there is, because KUFFZ meets a villain whose henchwoman is this gal named Origin, who can take you back in your memory to your own origin, which is the structure, the platform under which we learn what KUFFZ's origin was. And she can also affect the way you remember it. She can't change your origin, but she can affect the way you remember it, the way you see it. And that actually plays a part in the denouement of KUFFZ taking down the bad guy. So that was a kind of a cool idea that I've never seen before. And the art by Kenneth Lowe, man, this is a very distinct art style. I want to say he did the art for the Knife Hand one-shot too, because this really does look like the Knife Hand book. But he's got a painted style, I would say. And of course, you always hear artists talk about, painted style. But like, his is a painted style with really broad brushstrokes. So it's a distinctive style that I don't recall ever having seen anything like it. So where I'm going with this, and again, it's the journey, not the destination, is this was a crisp book with a distinctive art style, brought to you by two masters of the game, a great script, great dialogue, and kind of a neat idea for a villain or for a power, and it had a great payoff at the end. So I would say to the voice crawling out in the wilderness that I continue to look forward to the next Zach project, because every time I see something from Splato, I know that it's not going to be same old, same old. It's going to be an idea that comes from a guy who's read a lifetime of comics, knows what all the hackneyed ideas are, and I think at some level when he's crafting these stories says to himself, can I deliver something novel? Can I deliver something unique? Can I deliver something that is like walking on fresh snow? Because that's what he always delivers. So get a chance, check out KUFFZ Origin. As always, check out anything Jawbreakers because it's an outstanding franchise. And until next time, this has been Tom Tuttle.